Back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Wednesday, a beautiful day to dive into some incredibly messy Genoa City drama. We've got a lot to unpack today, and honestly, I am still trying to wrap my head around some of these plot twists. Grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about the absolute chaos happening with the Abbotts and the Newmans. And let's just start right off with that intense scene over at Crimson. You guys know the one. Nikki and Victoria are just sitting there, probably trying to have a normal coffee break, and in walks Kyle Abbott. And Kyle is not just upset. He is furious. He is practically shaking with rage. He just unloads on them about everything that happened. He tells them about Jack getting stabbed by Patty Williams. He tells them about how this absolute psycho almost killed Diane with a digitalis needle. And then he drops the ultimate. He blames Victor for all of it. Honestly, Kyle is not wrong. Let's be real here. If Victor Newman hadn't lured Patty back to Genoa City in the first place, none of this would have happened. Victor funded her. He put her on that yacht. He set this whole nightmare into motion. And Kyle making sure Nikki knew exactly what her husband did was just a brilliant move. You could see the horror on Nikki's face. She has been trying to hold her marriage together, but hearing that Victor's petty revenge plot almost left Kyle an orphan, that is a bridge too far even. So Nikki is furious. She is absolutely livid with Victor for bringing Patty back to town. And how does Victor react? Oh, you already know. Victor Newman feels betrayed. Yes, you heard me right. Betrayed. The absolute audacity of this man never ceases to amaze me. He unleashes a literal psychopath on the Abbott family. People almost die. And when his wife gets mad at him for it, he plays the victim. He is actually mad at Nikki for not blindly supporting him. What was he thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well for him? But, you know, maybe I'm being too harsh. Okay, no, I'm not being too harsh. Victor deserves all the backlash he is getting right now. He pushed the Abbotts too far this time. He really did. And now he is going to have to deal with a very angry wife and a very, very angry Kyle Abbott. But before we get deep into Kyle's revenge plan, let's zoom out and look at the one tiny silver lining in all of this darkness. Because amidst all the blood and the kidnapping and the near-death experiences, Jack and Diane have actually grown closer. Which is just a thing that is crazy to think about, but trauma bonding is real, you guys. A few episodes ago, their marriage was hanging by a thread. Diane was furious about what happened on that yacht with Patty. Jack was desperate for forgiveness. It looked like Victor had actually succeeded in destroying them. But then Patty went completely off the rails. When Jack was bleeding out on the floor and Diane was fighting for her life against Patty in that deadly syringe, all the petty arguments just faded away. When you almost lose someone, you realize what really matters. And the spoilers for Wednesday's episode are promising some seriously heartwarming moments for these two. We are going to see a really nice reunion between Jack and Diane. It sounds like Jack is finally getting discharged from the hospital and heading home to the Abbott mansion. And Diane is going to be right there, happily taking care of her husband and helping him recover. It is actually really sweet. They have been through hell and back, but they survived Victor's plot. They survived Patty's attacks. And now they are just focusing. Diane nursing Jack back to health is exactly the kind of soft, emotional beat we need after weeks of high-stakes thriller drama. But while Jack and Diane are resting and healing, their son is out for... And this is where the story gets really. Kyle Abbott is on a warpath. He watched his mother get attacked. He watched his father almost die. and he knows exactly who is responsible. Kyle is determined to make Victor pay, and he wants to step up as the head of the Abbott family to finally take this guy down. Kyle is tired of playing nice. He is tired of the Abbotts always taking the high road while Victor fights dirty. So Kyle is deciding to fight dirty too. And his master plan? Oh man, it is completely in a twist that absolutely no one saw coming for 2026. Kyle goes to visit Patty Williams in jail. Let that sink in for a second. Kyle Abbott is visiting the woman who literally just tried to murder both of him. What is he thinking? Honestly, what is going through his head right now? He walks into that jail cell looking at this woman. Luckily, she is behind bars, so she can't physically hurt him. But Patty is dangerous in so many other ways. She is manipulative. She is unpredictable. And Kyle wants to strike a deal with her. It sounds completely absurd that Kyle would want to work with Patty in any capacity. This woman nearly destroyed his entire family. But Kyle is so blinded by his rage toward Victor that he is willing to make a deal with the devil. He knows that Patty is the key to destroying Victor. Patty knows everything. She knows about the funding. She knows about the yacht. She knows every single dirty detail of Victor's involvement. If Kyle can get Patty to turn on Victor, he can ruin the Newman Empire. But how do you negotiate with someone like Patty Williams? She is a total wild card. Kyle is standing there in his expensive suit, staring down this chaotic woman in a jail cell, trying to form an alliance. The fans on social media are losing their... Some people think Kyle is being a brilliant strategist, finally acting like a ruthless CEO. But others think he is making the biggest mistake of his life. You just don't team up with Patty. You just don't. She will turn on you the second it's... But Kyle is desperate. He is so desperate to protect his parents and get revenge. So he is hoping to strike a deal. But what is he going to promise her in return? That is the million-dollar question right now. What could Kyle possibly offer Patty that would make her agree to... Maybe he is offering her better legal representation. Maybe he is offering to use the Abbott money to get her transferred to a nicer, high-end psychiatric facility instead of a cold, hard prison. Or maybe he is just playing on her emotions. Patty feels betrayed by Victor right now. Victor used her and then left her to take the fall. Kyle might just be stoking that fire, convincing Patty that Victor is their mutual enemy. But let's be real, Patty is obsessed. She has always been obsessed with Jack. Is Kyle going to use his own father as a bargaining chip? Is he going to promise Patty some kind of access to Jack? I really hope not, because that would be incredibly messed up. But Kyle is operating in a very dark gray area right now. He is crossing lines that Jack would probably never cross. And this is what makes the storyline so fascinating. We are watching the corruption of Kyle Abbott. He is turning into a Newman to fight a Newman. He is using manipulation, secret deals, and shady alliances. He is becoming exactly the kind of person he hates. And it is tragic, but it is also amazing television. I just can't look away. Think about the bigger pattern. The Abbott and Newman feud has been going on for decades. It always follows the same beats. Victor does something terrible, Jack gets mad, they fight over a company, someone gets hurt, and then they reset. But this feels different. This time, Victor crossed a line involving physical violence and a known psychopath. And this time, it's not just Jack fighting back. It's Kyle. The next generation is taking the reins, and Kyle is proving that he can be just as ruthless as the mustache himself. But Victor is not going to just sit back and let Kyle destroy him. Victor is already feeling betrayed by Nikki. And when Victor feels backed into a corner, he lashes out. If he finds out that Kyle is secretly meeting with Patty in jail, Victor is going to launch a massive counterattack. He might try to silence Patty permanently. He might try to frame Kyle for something. With Victor, the possibilities for revenge are endless. And poor Jack and Diane are just sitting at home thinking the nightmare is over. They are having their sweet romantic reunion completely unaware that their son is out there poking a sleeping bear. When Jack finds out that Kyle went to Patty, he is going to lose his mind. Jack just wants this whole Patty ordeal to be over. He wants her locked away and forgotten. The last thing he needs is his son dragging her back into their lives for a revenge plot. But Kyle isn't listening to reason. He is fully committed to this path. He is going to stand in that jail cell and look Patty in the eye and make a pact that could change Genoa City forever. It is a massive gamble. If it works, Victor goes down. If it fails, Kyle could end up in a cell right next. I honestly don't know how this is going to play out, but I am here for every single messy second. The writers have really dialed up the stakes this month. Between Nikki's fury, Victor's stubbornness, Jack and Diane's healing, and Kyle's descent into darkness, we have so many moving parts. And Patty Williams is right in the center of it all, holding all the cards from. What do you guys think? Is Kyle making a genius move, or is he making a catastrophic mistake? Can Patty actually be trusted to take down Victor, or is she going to double-cross Kyle the first chance she gets? And how long until Victor realizes what Kyle is up to and drops the hammer on the Abbott family? Let me know your thoughts, because my brain is just spinning with all these theories. I need a nap, but I also need the next episode immediately.